Hey friends, let's take a trip to Canton, Texas and see what they have. I can't wait to share this fun little trip that Cheryl, Easton, and I took a few weeks back.
Welcome to Canton, y'all.
Here we are. We're here. We picked the best day to come with all this rain and mud. Are we excited?
I'm excited to finally be here.
Let's go check it out. Friends, when we took off for this trip, it said that there was no rain. The chances were very low on this day. Now, we didn't have time to really stay and spend several days. We were going to make a quick trip down and back. It was really only like 4 hours or more to get there, and so we thought we would go and check it out, and we made a day of it. When we started out, it was a little sunny, and the further we went, the darker it got. It rained on us most all the time there, and then of course when we pulled up, it had rained and it had stopped, and so most of the day was spent just looking at what was still out. A lot of the vendors had closed their booths, and so we were just stuck with whatever was available. It still was so much fun. This booth was my absolute favorite. I was so glad to find a booth open that was my style. I just loved everything that they offered here. It was just amazing. These were the sweetest people, and we just had a great time looking around. So most of the day, I mean, when we were there, like I said, it was raining. And when it wasn't raining, we were trying to look at what was still available. We did go inside a lot of the buildings when it was raining to look around. But again, you know, it's just really sad because so many of the booths had covered up everything and we just weren't able to see what they had. If you've never been to Canton, I would highly suggest going. It was so much fun, even though the day did not turn out like we wanted. At one point there was lightning, and so we knew that it was time to go, but we did have a really good time. There's not only vintage items that are available, but also things that you can get from specialty stores. And I loved these bird prints. They were so pretty. So there's just really something for everybody there. They even had a lot of plants for sale. I got a gorgeous fern there for a really reasonable price. I will share that with you toward the end. So I hope you'll stick around and see what I got.
Guys, look what I found.
What'd you
I have a
find?
gas pump.
Wow, how cool.
And then there's another one. This one's heavier. That's a,
It's a big one.
oh yeah. Oh, it's cool.
Okay. Friends, there really were treasures everywhere to be found. Again, I was so sad because a lot of the booths that were outside were all closed up, and it was just a miserable day. It truly was, as far as the weather goes, but just to see all these treasures made it completely worth the time. So again, if you haven't been, I highly suggest going. There is so much to see. I don't think we barely even scratched the surface. So I'm looking forward to going back again when the weather is really pretty.
Welcome to Buc-ee's.
Y'all wave. Hey, can you wave? Friends, no trip to Texas is complete until you're able to stop at Buc-ee's, and we had such a great time visiting this store. Friends, can you see all the rain in the back glass? It was crazy. But now let me share with you what I did get. I got this enormous fern. It was $25. I thought it was just amazing. And then let me share with you the other thing that I got. It was definitely a splurge. But yes, I couldn't resist this enormous corbel. It was absolutely stunning. Now, it is so big, it almost takes up this whole space where I've got this trunk sitting behind my couch. So I'm not sure where I'm going to really display it just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and style it right here for you guys and show you what it looks like. I'm just so in love with this gorgeous piece. So to style it, I'm going to use one of my other old corbels. I set it on the side. I usually have two of these, but I moved one. I took that arrangement of tulips that I had sitting on my buffet, and I just took out all of the colored ones, left the white ones, added a flag, and put it right there. This was also a thrift store makeover. I don't know if you guys saw this makeover. I don't think I shared it. I'll have to try to share this with you guys in a short to show you what I did, because it was just so fun to put this together. It looks completely different, and I just think it turned out so pretty. So I added that, and then the only other thing I'm going to do is add a candle and a picture of my mom and dad. So I didn't get this at Canton, but I actually got it at Goodwill. And friends, this is $3.99. I was so excited when I seen it in the thrift store. It was the only thing I bought that day. It was a different store I'd never been to, and I just thought it was so pretty. I cleaned it up, I hung it on the wall, and I put these candles in that go on this remote, and it's just so pretty. It leaves the prettiest ambiance at night. I just love this thing, and I'm so glad I found it. To round out this look, the only other thing I did was add this glass flower frog with these small little flags. Friends, I'm so ready for Memorial Day, and I hope that you'll always remember that, you know what, it's truly about all those soldiers that sacrificed so much for our freedom. And I hope you will never forget the sacrifices they made. Friends, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. And before I go, I just want to share with you this beautiful Bible verse. Friends, let's please continue to pray for Angie at the Bumblebee Farmhouse. Friends, she desperately needs our prayers. Let's stand in faith for her healing. This Bible verse says, "Faithful is he who calls you, and he also who brings it to pass." 1 Thessalonians 5:24. Friends, God is always faithful. Sometimes his will and plan is not what we desire, but when we put our faith and trust in a loving God, just know he never fails. Friends, thank you again for being here. We appreciate you so very much. I hope you'll have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and I want to say a thank you to every person, every soldier that has sacrificed so much for this freedom that we have today. Friends, thank you for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. And friends, we look forward to seeing the next one. Bye, y'all.